Welcome everyone to our committee meeting for Tuesday, October 15th. Today. Start off with county services.
Okay, county services 601. We have 4 action items tonight. Number 1, authorization to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Cairo to submit a CREST grant application to New York State and the commitment of Greene County funds for construction and renovation of the new town Cairo Senior Center. I have a quick question on this before we do any action on it. Greene County pays rent to the town of Cairo for the use of the building, right, to do senior nutrition. We still have to pay rent?
No, one of the stipulations is no longer be any rent once we do this.
Okay.
I'll move it.
I will second it.
I'll second it.
Very quick question. How many seniors use that facility? Do you know?
The last,
We do home delivered meals out of that center.
So you're cooking there?
Yeah.
Cooking in different
And
towns.
we have congregate.
Tammy, could you name the towns we cook for there other than Carroll?
Sorry,
We cook for other towns in there, correct?
we could, the meals out of the Acre Center are delivered around Caro, a little bit into Durham
Right,
and down, 32.
or it's Freehold.
Yeah, so we cover quite a bit of area out of that little center.
Okay.
Now, does the location change, Tammy, change the demographics then that you serve, if you're moving
no,
the center?
No.
You can still maintain temperature.
Yeah.
How many meals then are you preparing on the average day?
I
Out of there?
would say, I know there's 2 routes. There's 2 meal routes that cover different parts. And I think there's about 45 home delivered meals, and then about
20, either.
usually about 20 people come in on average to have.
The new facility, that might increase though. That building pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah.
so bad.
That's a word.
It
And
was
that's
bad the
what
last time I
we're
saw it
hoping
20
to
years
do,
ago.
You know, have an open house and really get people from the community.
So besides that, Ed, do you know on the money side of things, is the town developing architectural plans for this or is the county?
Town.
Town, have we seen these plans yet?
Yes, the building is kind of 2 buildings, if you will, attached with 1 roof line. This project will be in the front half of the building, careful the term half, it's on half the building. It needs to be renovated, there's existing restrooms that are not handicap accessible. So they've done I would call it a preliminary outline of a redesign of the
Okay.
also for the creation of a kitchen, which of Ansel system. There is
One installation.
there is a conceptual design that would need then to take it to a bid document.
Gotcha. Who's doing that design for them, do you know? Larry, do you know?
Scatterskill.
Scatterskill?
They already did it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bid for it.
Right.
They got the schematic.
Schematic.
Harry, isn't there extra property that you're gonna sell? Well, the money will.
Right. The Acre Community Center is in very bad shape, as was mentioned. When the town of Carroll sells that, they're giving the money to the county. Also, Senator Hinchy is giving us a $500,000 grant for the center.
So really, the money's not a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
This is-
that property itself should go for about 2 million.
This is gonna be just a Carroll Town building, right? Carroll, the town of Carroll.
Well,
The
the
town owns.
the town maintains it. The town maintains it, cuts the grass, paints and plumbing, whatever needs to be done. I guess would be a town building, yes.
What building is it, Harry?
It's the old custard stand, south of
Vans.
32,
Oh, okay.
Vans.
Van?
We're gonna run water and
Just do
sewer.
a job.
Yes, that was it. We're gonna run water and sewer from Hannaford down to it.
Gotcha.
That's the biggest expense. And then the kitchen, of course, is gonna be very expensive. And that's where the senator gave us $500,000 for that.
Gotcha.
what else got me?
Just-
All right, thank you. Just because I had a question does not mean I oppose it. This is long overdue. people in Carroll have been very patient about this. All right, so Legislator Lennon moves, Legislator True seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anyone opposed? That is carried. Number 2, authorizing grant matching funds for Greene County Historical Society.
Overblock?
Handle moves, Overbaugh seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That is carried. Budget amendment, Greene County Board of Elections, state fiscal year 24-25 grants. Anyone want to move that?
Lavera?
Rivera moves it. Who wants to second it?
Overblock?
Overbaugh? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's carried.
This doesn't include I voted stickers, does it?
Or I showed my ID.
Tired of hearing about that.
I'm not going to lose control here.
You
There you go. Maybe Mike's right, let's do, I showed my ID stickers.
Exactly.
Illegal.
That was cool.
You lost it.
I lost it. I lost it.
Sorry,
No,
Chair.
no, that's okay.
That's discrimination.
Budget amendment, Greene County Human Services, Youth for Euro.
And
Overblock?
And a leg and Overbaugh. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have informational items here, legal notice, Human Services Plan of Service for Senior Residents.
That's just that's the annual plan to put it out to the seniors. So I think there was,
It's scheduled for
Oh,
the,
that's the public hearing, okay.
yes,
All right, I'm sorry.
28th.
Just, yeah, Tuesday the 29th.
yeah, then I think there was.
At Rivertown.
Afterwards, it.
So we have
Plan out.
Governor of Social Services here, would you like to say, anything? Got anything for us?
So a quick little update on the AI project. We're hoping that this Friday, late in the afternoon to the weekend, we're going to be testing the phone system. So if you get phone calls from me, it's really not me. So we're going to be starting that little journey with the phone system. Any questions on that?
Does that tie in with our IT department at all, or is this completely separated,
So-
done with someone else?
Our county IT department will give the blessing of that. That's why it's going
Oh.
to happen
Okay,
at this particular date.
gotcha. Thank you.
Just a question that has come to my attention, that might be something for a further discussion. When students are in schools, have a complaint that perhaps there's been parental neglect, whether the kid has been left home by themselves, they're not coming to school, attendance. People say they're calling CPS and they're being told that, well, it's not parental neglect because the student is not failing. Is that true?
So for us to become involved, it has to go through the state central registry, so the SCR. So that first phone call has to go to Albany. We're not told about all the phone calls. We're only told about the cases that they want us to investigate. And your second half of that statement is, we have to show the impact. So if the school system passes the child, even though they missed 200 days, there would not be any impact.
Yeah, but that's because teachers are working with the students, whether it's after school, whether it's on their time, where the student is not there. So they're saying, well, the teachers are, what I'm hearing is teachers are doing that, on their own time so that, so the student is not failing. Then they're basically saying, well, it's not parental neglect because they're not failing. Well, they're not failing because the teachers are helping them to try not to fail.
Well, I
But
would think
they're out of
that,
school over 100 days.
I would think that the teacher
You're also not
should
right.
write a letter to the administration in the school so they're aware of that, so the school could say,
Well, that's why
Yes,
I
they're
think there needs
passing.
to be a bigger discussion about it. I don't know,
So,
the avenue or.
yeah, so there's a really vast conversation about that. And the conversation really is, should there be any SER calls or even taken from the school system? Should there even be such an educational neglect within the state? So there's lots of conversations about that. There was public hearings with Hevesy just the other day. It was 5 hours worth of hearings over that. So I think the state is really looking at that very differently. But you're correct. I mean, we really have to show the impact for us to indicate a case.
But everybody needs a paper trail, especially today. That's the problem. If you don't have anything to back up what's going on, you know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
think they do. They have attendance records that there's certain students that are not coming to school. So they're getting it from DSS that, well, they're not failing, so it's not, parental neglect.
No, I know, but I'm saying the more information that is provided to the state and DSS, like if you say, yeah, she missed 200 days of class, but she's passing my class because I've gone above and beyond, and the student has to make up the time, then you're showing that there's, you know what I'm saying? You're showing cause and effect.
I think what I'm hearing is that they're saying that it's parental neglect, that a child is being left home by themselves. They're not coming to school and there's no
But it is,
consequence to
but
that.
what she's telling you that the girl's passing, so there's nothing they can do.
Right, that's the problem.
Well, that's why you need the paper trail to say, yes, she's passing because she's coming for extra work that I provide outside of school
So
or
if they have a
beyond it.
paper trail that says they're passing because the teacher is helping them, that doesn't cut it.
So you're correct. If the child.
Doesn't cut it.
So that conversation really needs to be had with state ed
Right.
and OCFS to take a look at
That's
those
what I said. I
policies.
think this is a larger conversation. It's not just our county.
Oh, it is not just our county, oh, believe me.
So would it be beneficial for Matt, or like say, use Matt's district, Catskill, to keep that paper trail to send to state ed? And then maybe things change on that?
Well, no, it needs to be a little bit bigger, so the superintendent and powers to be really
Yeah.
needs to get together with state ed. Quantify the numbers that you're looking at, because our community is very different after
Yeah.
COVID, we all know that. And show, what's really happening.
And I'm not speaking on behalf of Catskill Schools.
Sure,
This actually came from a complaint from another town up on the mountain.
What would trigger Tim's situation?
Well, that ends up being a person in needs of supervision. Those regulations have changed drastically since 2020, right before COVID.
I mean, it wouldn't cover this situation.
Sometimes, but if we're really getting into the weeds, it takes a lot of information and a lot of data to see what that looks like. But that's more of a rare occasion that we're even seeing anymore.
So this is something we have to.
If a kid is losing 100 days, he's not thriving either. He's not passing, he's not failing, but he's also not thriving.
Right, but I think the teachers are trying to work with them so they're not failing, but there is neglect. That's what they're.
Parental neglect.
Correct.
You know what? You bring that up, Matt, but now I'm going to the back of my mind. If you miss a certain amount of days, you're missing a certain amount of days of school. Well, I gotta remember, it's 40 years ago.
It's going way back.
Yeah, way back. But after you miss a certain amount of days, well, it used to be the school nurse would be investigating, where are you? Why are you missing it? She was a truant officer.
Yeah.
So there should open up an investigation or a case to that. You know what I mean?
Daryl, that's when society had
Makes sense.
So I just think if we could have some other conversation,
there's no consequences
what we
anymore.
could do maybe to get that to the state. Thank you.
Plus, they were all in one room, Darrell, it was easy to say.
Yeah, one of those school.
County clerk, Marilyn Farrell, do you have anything you would like to say?
Already told Jim.
We just implemented
Girl set.
fraud with our vendor IQS. And what it is you have to go online, to search IQS, and you put in names. You can put your name in 3 different ways. And whenever something goes through my office that involves this name, you will get an email and it will tell you that something was done on your name.
What is IQS?
IQS is our solutions program that we use in the clerk's office.
Software platform.
Software. So, they're gonna email you, something was done, but if your name is John Smith, you advise anybody in Greene County, you'll get your, an email that says John Smith sold whatever piece of property. But if it's not, you can see go on and see the deed or whatever it is and know that it wasn't yours. So, and then I'm working with Cherry to put it on the front of the county page. And you can unsubscribe at any point in time that you want. But it is a good thing and it's free to us. There's nothing that's gonna
This was in response to
Cost us.
title theft. You've seen that in the news recently, there's been title theft.
back in.
So this would be a way for you to be proactive on your own property to list your name so that.
Right, and back in 2020, the state did a mandate that we have to send a fraud letter out to any residential property. So this could be, something that isn't residential and you would still get the notice. But people with residential get a fraud notice whenever something's done.
They can just go in and register and put their own name in.
They can put their own name in
Set up.
3 different ways.
Yeah, you use your middle initial, and that
Do
kind
it
of.
without your middle initial, I do how you do it.
Where do you go into?
You go into, search IQS.
Okay.
And it has, I printed their sign up and instructions. This IQS fraud alert, and then they ask you to put in your name 3 different ways. Then you, sign up for what county you want, what state. They do it in different states. So
Is this the same thing that Rensselaer County is doing?
Yes.
basically, yeah. So, that's it. And on our digitization project, our records, our deeds are now available back to 1800. Online access is 24/7. The system updates nights, so records are available. Searchable. Right away at the end of the day. The access to the system is free, but if you want to print a document, you have to pay for it. And that's how we've been doing all our extra. In my budget, I have $10,000 a year for records. And we have taken this extra money that they're getting charged for the copies that we get and doing more backup and more online stuff.
I think it's very reasonable too. When you need to print something, it's not like it's
Yeah.
overly expensive.
So then on the motor vehicle side, we've received $33,555,531.55 we've taken across our counters. Out of that, we've turned over $650,350.33 to the treasurer. And now that they changed our retention fee from 12.7 to 10.7, we're getting all the internet. So as of the end of September, the internet that we've received is $123,362.42. And before they changed it to the 10.7, we had a $500,000 threshold that we had to get to before we got 3%. So they dropped us down on everything else. Seems to be coming. Some of the other counties are getting a lot more. We're just gonna probably break even from what we did.
So there's no threshold anymore?
No threshold.
That's good. I
Yeah,
think we sent a resolution against that a while ago.
I think we did.
But that's good that they changed that.
So I have, 3 county dealers that we work with. We have 2 public service bureaus. And then, of course, during COVID, when I had said about taking on the state documents that the dealership sends to the state. So with that to date, the retention from those 3 things is $470,199.62. So it's a big chunk of our change coming in. At this point, an additional $180,139.71 is our walk-ins in our local dealers.
So we're getting far more off the internet now.
We're getting far more off the internet, and we're getting 470,000 from the out-of-county dealers that we're working with.
That's good.
And then the internet is gonna make up that 2% across the board. Counties like St. Lawrence County, their increase is like 50%. Ours is only gonna be like 10%, so it.
Deb was taking notes back there. By then.
Got her checks. But she gets the internet checks before I do, so.
Marilyn, on a DMV note, when you, it's a different subject, it's about securing our vote. And I know people register through DMV.
Right.
What other guardrails that prevent someone who's maybe not in this country legally or not a citizen from, who may have a driver's license from being able to register to vote?
That, they come in and the state says they have to answer the question to vote or not. And they hit yes or no, and we check nothing.
Right.
It all goes.
So,
like-
There's no guardrail in DMV.
It all.
So does anybody know if there's a guardrail at the state?
It goes right to the board of elections.
So it's up to is it up to State Board of Elections or Greene County Board of Elections to investigate if that person is a citizen?
I don't even know how we would.
To be honest with you, Mike, we have
I
people.
mean,
coming
think of the
in-
number of people who could be doing that. There could be dozens, hundreds, and
I'm only saying that, Marilyn, because I happened to be in your office, DMV, for registrations, and a gentleman came in and he didn't speak English. It didn't seem right, but somehow he had a driver's license, and I'm going, okay.
That was green light law.
Right.
Green light, and that was a while ago.
Right.
But we do get people coming in and want to get the real ID or enhanced. And they have to have 2 forms of residency. Girls ask, are you registered to vote? No, but I want registered. So what they take up there to give them their little card when they come back down to me that says they live at 66 Grandview Avenue, I don't know.
Okay.
So there's no providing a passport or a birth certificate.
I'll follow up with BOE, maybe have it at the next meeting.
And I don't, the state has a program that tells us that they have to answer it now, even on registrations, not just, it used to be just license.
But do you need to be a citizen to get an enhanced license?
Citizen should be in enhanced, yes.
So I mean, if they're coming in, they
You need
have
a
to
passport.
provide you with a birth certificate or.
Real ID, you get real ID and have INS documentation.
But then you're a
I
resident.
think I used my passport to get mine.
Right.
I think you got a
But
passport.
It still has to go through INS. We have to scan it and send it up to them. And verify that, yes, all their INS documents are right. But they can't get an enhanced. They can only get a real.
Right, because they need to be a citizen. They either need an immigration paper or a valid passport.
They have that naturalization.
That's what I meant. Naturalization paper.
Thank you for clarifying that, so any public that's listening, that understands what could potentially be happening, that we really don't know about. Oh, Mike, I'm glad you're here too.
That's the first time I've heard you say that. On your program that allows.
I'll catch you after the meeting.
Are they able, or does that program forbid someone from taking a screenshot or printing to?
Yeah, because it says, unofficial crossing.
So it'll watermark it.
Yeah, it goes across it and you can't even print it.
Oh, okay.
No, can you screenshot it?
Screenshot,
Well,
once you
it's
fill it out,
screenshot, it says unofficial across it.
Okay.
And it's, the whole document isn't right there in your view. You gotta move it up and down. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be something they could use for legal purposes,
No.
but maybe if they needed a date or something like that, they would be able to get the date without having to print off.
Yeah, and if you just wanted to go home and read your own and check on what your neighbor's doing, you could do that, you know.
No, I've seen websites that don't allow you to screenshot. I'm not sure how they do it, what type of security they have to put on it, but I was just wondering if that was part of our program or not.
No, it just says unofficial across it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
Right. I stepped on anybody's toes, I'm not sure DMV is in, so I apologize if I did. Anybody else have anything for county services this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, we are adjourned.
I was gonna ask. Okay. We'll save those in the government ops.
We call the Public Works Committee to order at 6:28, and we'll start with the Highway Superintendent's report.
Good evening. It was a very, very, very busy construction season. We're still working on several projects, but just going through some of the ones that are still outstanding. County Route 40 Bridge in the town of Wyndham, that's still in the preliminary design and right-of-way stage. Same with 61 and the Spruceton Road Bridge in Westkill. As well as County Route 20, Platte Clove, and County Route 3. We did add another bridge onto the federally and state aid bridge project. It's the Sabre Valley Road Bridge over the 10 Mile Creek in the town of Durham. So that was added to the new STIP. So that's going to be a new bridge project that we're going to be doing. The locally funded projects that we were doing this year, County Route 1, unfortunately, this is in Halkett. We were delayed by the subcontractor doing pile driving. Currently, Colarusso and Sons is constructing that project. They are doing everything that they possibly can to try to catch up on the schedule, including working 6 10-hour days. They worked yesterday, which was typically a holiday for them, but they're working. Even with that, they're scheduled to be open the second week in December. It's not ideal. We're gonna have to shift things around, and paving and some of the approach route will have to be done next construction season. But we will get that road opened for traffic for the majority of winter. County Route 23C culvert in the town of Jewett was completed and open to traffic. That's in front of the Jewett town building. County Route 67 culvert, which turned into a large bridge, was open to traffic last week. County Route 61 slope stabilization and road repair, we're still in the investigation and design. County Route 23B slope stabilization in Jefferson Heights. We're in the design phase, we're pretty close. We're coming into obstacles on Snake Road, which is below. because how narrow that road is, if we do construction on the slope, we're gonna have to find an alternate detour because how narrow Snake Road is, it's only about approximately 12 feet wide. So constructing the slope and working on the slope of that is, it's going to be a challenge. So we're trying to figure out how to construct that with getting access through Snake Road. We have finished 100% of our paving this year. Roughly 26 miles of paving, that's including microsurfacing as well as multiple other different types of surface treatments and full depth reclamation. We now are developing their 2025 paving program, which kind of leads into a resolution for purchasing the road survey software. This is RMT, Road Management Technologies. This is something we discussed before. It's a passive technology that they place onto our vehicles. It not only videos the roadway, but it also has an algorithm to analyze what the surface conditions are. The Zoom presentation that we had? Yes. So I know the sticker price seems a little bit high, but that's about 2% of what we budget for paving. With this technology, we're expecting to get between 15 and 20% savings because it will not only analyze the road and what treatments we're doing, and it'll say whether it's successful or not. This is analyzing the road on a continual basis. We do inspection of the roadway once a year. This is going to be something that will also build a management plan for us. So hopefully
Are
that
these going on, say, your supervisor vehicles?
Correct.
Farming vehicles, not going on plow trucks or anything like that?
right now, we're estimating between 20 and 22 vehicles based on the vehicles that we have and where they travel. If it requires more, we'll put it on more. It's not an additional price we're trying to get as much data as we possibly can, and they're taking that and loading it up into the software. They have different, I guess, a very large database from different states and different surface treatments. And so it all goes into how they're going to analyze what works for us and what doesn't. So what works in the valley might not work in a mountaintop. So we've been doing a lot of surface treatments. Now let's see if it actually works and what doesn't.
How does that get uploaded then?
It's when you go back to the buildings, all of our buildings have Wi-Fi, so we can upload into the cloud. And it picks up traffic signs as well? This does have a module for not only traffic signs, but it'll also do work orders. Currently, our work order process is we get a complaint, we put it in Excel spreadsheet, we type it up for one of the building supervisors, they go and take a look at it. They're supposed to immediately send back what the result was, what they found. Does it have to be resolved to our project engineers, or does it have to go to myself to look at it further? It's kind of it's an old system that there's no real checks and balances. This will allow us to know where in the workflow we are. And as well as our signage, which we've been working with Real Property to try to GIS all of our roadway signs, which using MUTCD, the manual uniform traffic control devices, it'll actually video them, tell us if it's reflective or not, because it has to be a certain standard of reflectivity. And then we can go out and actually replace it. Or if it's missing because it was damaged in an accident and nobody told us, then it'll tell us that, give us a. So a street sign, a stop sign, a curb ahead sign, a speed limit sign? Correct. Anything on our infrastructure.
So a hypothetical, the white stop bar when you pull up to a intersection, would that read
It will tell us
how many
basically,
lumens it's given off and it needs to be repainted?
not necessarily
something like that?
the road pavement striping, but the road signage.
Okay.
So the road signage, that currently has to have a certain reflectivity. Our road striping does not. So that it's basically stop signs, curb signs, yield signs.
Crosswalk signs.
Crosswalks, children at play.
That's long enough anymore.
Yeah.
Look like it was sprinkling like dust on it.
It is,
It's not
they're
blue,
beads,
it's not-
they're reflectivity beads, yes.
Yeah.
But our ADT for our roads don't require reflectivity. No, Thruway Authority and some of the state roads do. Moving to solid waste. Which leads to roadway striping. We have finished all the roadway striping, 23B in Leeds was restriped. So everyone knows what side of the road to drive on.
Share your picture.
And then we share it, right?
Have you heard anything from the Thruway Authority about the Cloris Still Road?
I have
Bridge?
not, I'll reach out to them and see. It was,
It's
when they
looking
first
good.
started, it was mid-November, so,
It was supposed to be mid-November, yeah. They were putting up guardrails today.
okay.
Pavement's been put down. It's been striped.
So, right, so they're gonna
So maybe they'll be open ahead of time.
Looks like they're pretty much on schedule, if not
Get
ahead.
rid of those traffic signs, traffic lights, I think. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
They're out of line.
They weren't very
Can't
popular.
see them.
Lights, man.
They blend in with it. Almost.
Going over to the solid waste department.
Had reflectors on it.
Catskill Transfer Station is moving well. I think we've gone there recently. There's considerable amount of improvement there. Hopefully next week we'll have milling and paving, and then striping will follow. Get that open to the general public.
You gonna have a ribbon cutting for Harry or?
Me.
What? Get a picture to paint.
No.
You'll see on the agenda a resolution for the purchase of a tire shredding machine. What we found is the cost of this tire disposal is going up continuously. Currently, we're at $250 per ton to dispose of tires. With this machine, we can ground it up and either throw it into the normal trash, or we can actually use it as a secondary source of recycling.
So if the company, whatever it is a ton, they want a complete tire, you couldn't grind it up and just send them
No,
the ground rubber.
Goes by weight.
they take the tire.
Well,
It's
a tire that's
casings, it's
ground
pretty
up is
much.
gonna weigh the same as if it's not,
I know, but you fit more in a container.
right? If they're ground up.
Less use, right?
And so, if you grind a tire up, it can be sent to a landfill?
Yes. Correct.
Do you have any idea how many tons of tires a year you bring in, like last year that you paid?
Between 200 and 250 tons a year.
Now, if we.
What about the wire?
$2 a tire.
Every tire has there's different price structure on the size.
Unless you go by the ton, you can't take it by the ton.
Right,
But
that's
it's-
what I'm saying, if we could grind them up, hail them by the
And
ton.
it's extremely labor intensive. Once they're disposed of, or once they're brought to our transfer station, we then have to hand place them into the container, so we get enough in there to be worth going to casings, and then we have to wait for casings to unload every one of them. So it's very time consuming. And the price has gone up considerably. I think in the last year, it's gone up $50 a ton. Scott, is there a secondary market then? There is.
That's what
Artificial football fields used. They're asking the actual asphalt paving companies, I know there are ones out there, I'm not sure if Colorado or Peckham are doing that, but there is an opportunity for them to use them into the paving process.
Yeah, they are.
Asphalt.
They actually.
It's melted to asphalt, okay, I was thinking,
Well, they also make field and tracks out of when you run on. They have some kind of mechanism that actually pulls the wires out. And they use them for, like, when you run on the track and they
I'd be concerned
recycle.
with steel belted tires, are gonna be shards and.
Yeah, well, that's a more high-tech machine, because now you're really processing them, and there's magnets on them, it takes the metal out, and that's more of
That's
a
next
process than
level.
what we're.
So right now, our end product is gonna go where?
To the landfill.
Should we get that end product to go to somewhere that would use
That's
it?
what Scott, maybe there
Well,
is a
we're-
recycling avenue.
We have to
You'd
explore
have to
those
process
and
them even more.
where it is.
Than what this,
I'm saying somebody might want it, like a company might want that. They're making athletic field material or turf field or?
There would be additional processing for it to do that, like, I mean,
Right.
removing the radials and moving the steel from it.
Would that keep the
What does
cost
Casey
of
do?
the,
Does he remove everything?
They do, I mean, there's a multiple that they make our barrels that we use for construction, those rings, they cut out the insides and they
On
use
the
them
truck
for,
tires, yeah.
and not sure where exactly the rest of them go.
Goes to the landfill.
Well, I always
Shred 'em
thought,
and-
I always
Use
thought
it
that the landfill is,
They use it to cap it.
yeah, well, it replaces using stone.
Right, the dirt.
And that's where they vent and they get the air through the actual rubber.
Correct.
Chips, you
Right,
know, to put oxygen down in there or whatever.
Any site improvements that the machine requires that is?
no, it's on a trailer, so we would do we do all of it at the Casco transfer station, I mean, we do minimal kind of site improvements, we've done a tremendous amount clearing the area behind the transfer station. And DEC requires us to only allow 1,000 tires, so we run into that several times where we need to get rid of them in a timely manner. So. But that's more because of the water.
What about power? Electric or is it?
No, it's
Diesel. Is that a diesel engine?
And and you'll see on here the out-of-state travel. Our two mechanics are gonna go down to Virginia to take a look at this machine, go over the mechanics of it, go over how much it costs to actually run the machine
Before you buy it.
before we buy it.
A road trip.
This is something that we've never purchased before, so we wanna make sure we do our due diligence and send them down there. That's the closest location that we could find.
It's on a trailer, that one end that we could move the trailer around the county and build up tire inventory.
You could.
in other Facilities.
You could,
We could take it up there for a few days or.
like Hunter, yes. Anywhere we do direct hauling, so Coxsackie, Hunter, Catskill. Wouldn't really necessarily do it in Wyndham, because then you'd have to load it back on your trailer anyway.
Yeah, but people wouldn't have to bring their tires to Catskill.
Right.
Get rid of them. We can take the trailer out to the other facility.
Correct.
What do we charge to receive a tire from the citizen?
Oh, what's the cost structure on our tires?
When I bring you a tire, how much do you charge me?
Depends on the size and if it has a rim, so I think it's up to 15 inches, $6, and 15 to 20 is $15, and then a tractor trailer tire is 25.
That's tire only, that's
And then it's a couple dollars more if it has a rim.
for a rim.
Yeah,
So does this machine also remove a rim if it needs to?
no,
We'd have to remove the rims to trim the
yeah,
tire.
but we have an old tire machine at the shop that we're gonna put out back so they can take the rims right off.
And then they're scrapped.
Right, and then we'll get paid
manual
for
labor.
scrap.
But it's, I mean, we keep on raising our price per tire, and they
Right.
keep on raising the price per ton, tire ton, I mean, there's no end to.
What's the container we put shredded in?
We'll just use a 50-yarder or 20-yarder and then dump it into it. See on the resolution for establishing project 155, that is the County Route 23B rehabilitation project in Main Street, Leeds. We've gotten the funding from HUD. This is the first time we've ever received funding from HUD before. So it's a slow process right now to make sure that we're crossing the Ts and dotting our Is and make sure the funding does get to us. But I think it's going to be a good project. But it's going to be a slow process to get to where we want to go.
When do you think, once your recycle area is open, when do you think you're gonna have this Keller tackle your tipping floor?
November 1st.
So they're gonna go basically right over to there and start, okay. And you're doing it splitting the building and doing half at a time or something? Yep.
It's going to be, I mean, we've already had discussion with our haulers,
We're gonna
coordinate.
do extended hours to accommodate,
All right.
the backup and So we'll stay open an extra 2 hours every night.
I still see a lot of trucks coming from across the river, making a right on 385.
I'm not sure where they're coming from.
Yeah, if you would, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that dip. To kind of.
Like 61. We milled it
Yeah,
not very long ago.
I know, that's what,
It's back.
yeah, just keep an eye on it. It looks like it's gonna continue to move. It's.
This
Which
lower,
one's that?
this is the lower one by the bridge.
The lower one, yeah. And right by the ordinance.
Oh, yeah.
That first one, that's where the dip is, they're gonna actually put a detour in when they replace that bridge, but. I'm hoping the road holds up until the bridge gets replaced.
No, it's pretty significant.
Something like that, Scott, if you excavated down where that slide is, right, 6 feet, and then use like a geomat, and then put stone back on top of that, would that maybe?
If the slide was only 6 to 8 feet deep,
Right.
it
When it
would.
slides at the bottom.
Right, you're, because of the boring, is that slide is pretty deep, so we have to get all the way down to the toe of the slope. Because, I mean, the slope has a curve. I mean,
Gotcha.
Go off the road, the slope goes, and the failure plane is pretty far away.
Okay.
Deep, so we have to get all the way down to the toe of the slope and then work our way back up.
I think probably 60 feet.
It's,
Where you ground out the last time?
One section of,
From one
Yeah,
side
one
to
side to
the
the
other,
other.
probably 60 feet at an angle.
so where it says dip, it like come up and then.
there's plenty of,
Drop off
definitely
again.
plenty of asphalt there to mill.
And
Fill it with old tires.
Let's just keep an eye on it.
15 years of paving it and milling it, paving and riding over it, paving it.
Scott, go back to Jefferson Heights.
Slide.
Any price estimates yet?
We have not, no.
What are you thinking there?
The solution is pretty standard as far as what we originally thought. They're gonna connect it to,
By driving more
the
piles?
sheeting.
It's an H, right?
They're gonna complete the sheeting. The shallow sheeting is gonna have to be removed. That's where the failure is, and that's where the slope is.
Okay.
You're seeing failure. They're gonna connect the two. It's below that, we're gonna have to remove the dead load, which is the majority of the trees and some of the soil. In order to get on that slope though, they gotta work from somewhere, and Snake Road is 12 feet wide. It's gonna be very difficult to kind of bench even down there and get a work platform.
Has that migrated into the roadway yet at all?
It has not, no,
That's not.
Has there been more movement?
minimal. It seems as if that sheeting now has reached its maximum failure,
More weight on that one.
correct? But it's a sidewalk, so we're not driving over it. But yeah, I mean, right now, it's trying to,
Getting close to the highway.
it's trying to figure out
What are
the,
we doing for snow plowing on that sidewalk?
we've shifted the sidewalk over
Sidewalk
to as close to the roadway as we possibly can. So that's been cordoned off for
Right.
months.
But the town,
The town is maintaining.
Well, as long as a Bobcat can get through there or something like that.
I don't know what
I
they
think that
do.
town has a snow blower that they use.
Right, you're shaking your head, yeah.
We don't do that. The county doesn't do it. The
No.
town,
We don't
I think,
maintain that.
agreed to maintain that. So,
Okay, moving on to proposed action items. Number one, authorizing shared service agreement with New York State Department of Transportation. Like. They can handle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Resolution concerning the impacts of electrified highway department vehicles. And by adoption of advanced clean truck rule. Ullage, handle,
Linger, and Thornton, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Number three, authorizing county highway and solid waste superintendent to apply for funding for the Schoharie Watershed Management Implementation Program. Martinez and Hobart, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Number four, authorizing purchase road survey software. Hobart.
Hewledge.
Hobart and Hewledge, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's passed. Resolution in support of Seneca Meadows Valley info permit application. Hobart, Handle, and Leg. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Authorizing purchase of tire shredding machine for Catskill Transfer Station.
Martinez, Rivera.
Martinez and Rivera, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Authorizing out-of-state travel, Greene County Highway Department and Solid Waste Department, Wes Benson and Joe DeAngelis.
Martinez.
Hewledge.
Martinez and Buelich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Establishing capital project number 155. County Route 23B rehabilitation project, Main Street leads, Town of Carroll.
Catskill.
Agreement.
And
Town of Catskill. Sorry, what did I say?
Carroll.
Main Street leads, Town of Catskill, and authorizing agreement with Barton and LaJudas DPC. Rivera, Lennon, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Anything else? Come before the Public Works Committee.
Motion to close.
Let it handle.
Let it handle. They're closed.
Are we naming that road after me? I received a letter about
Lennon
that.
Lane.
I received a letter, an anonymous letter.
Lennon Lane.
Colleen changed her name.
One way.
Yeah.
Dead end.
Great,
I would say Harry's way, because you always get it. Old way.
Right? I'd like to open economic development.
Mike, though.
Economic Development and Tourism Committee at 6:50. Gentlemen. We have 3 agenda action items. We have Warren here with us tonight, who is sitting there with his dilated eyes, so he can't talk, can't see. Number 1 is authorizing vehicle purchases, Greene County Transit, Greene County Transit. That's for new buses.
I'll make a motion.
Handle.
True. Linger, Handle, and True. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay, that's passed. Number 2, designating official tourism promotion agency. True. True
Handle.
and Handle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's passed. Number 3, authorizing application and pledging matching funds. I Love New York 2025.
Handle.
Lennon.
Handle, Lennon, and Overbaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's passed. Anything else to come before economic development and tourism?
Well, I see some equipment changing around up there at the old Stewart's building. Has that now been deeded to us or not yet?
Not yet. All the AIA contracts are out. They're all getting signed and returned. There's still bonds, insurance. When all of that's in place, we'll do a pre-construction meeting with a notice to proceed. Seems to be a hub of activity for a lot of construction projects up there. Central Hudson uses it, the village has equipment up there all the time. Gallo, who is the prime contractor, they did put a piece of equipment up there in anticipation of getting going. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks before, I'm hopeful that everything comes together and we can issue a notice to proceed.
Thank you.
Gas line is going in too.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really moving now.
Yeah, they finally got the DOT permits for the Marshall Sterling side of the road, so.
Who knows, maybe that total bill will come in less, maybe they haven't hit as much rock as they thought they were gonna.
All of the
Potentially.
borings will be done shortly now. They're going under.
I think we would have heard by now, Mike, if we would hit that rock.
Yeah, they're pretty far.
Yeah.
They're probably-
Warren, I think we asked this before, the DEC did give it, we are getting a clean bill on the oil.
Yes.
Movement of the
Yeah,
tanks.
that report's been issued, we're waiting for the DEC to sign off with their official. Remember when the town of Catskill did their sanitary improvements on the 23 day, they did an enormous amount of trenching and rock removal. So that's gonna potentially save us some costs from, they're gonna follow that same trench where they can, and it'll be less rock removal.
And I'll point out that the residents up there are still paying. Leaves the Jefferson Place. Has the IDA mentioned anything about the hotel? Seems like there's no updates. There's been no action.
Last time we discussed, they had an action before the planning board to change the schematic design. They were going more modern. Planning board wanted it more Catskill traditional. That was an issue of how their banner flies and their marketing. And then there's I believe a final outstanding issue on water consumption. And with the new line that came in, my understanding that the previous estimate on consumption mirrored the previous hotel that was there, so that it's an existing condition. I think that got a little tied up with the DEC since the hotel was dark for a couple of years. But the last time I spoke to Renee, he didn't think that was gonna be an issue.
So do we have a timeline? All right, so then I would like the IDA to at least give us some update.
Get her down here.
And let's get an update on a timeline as to where they're at, what's the next steps. People have been asking, and we've been asking.
When does the IPA meet again? When's their board meet?
It's usually in the mornings.
In the morning.
It's 8 o'clock on
Tuesday, I think,
Thursday?
Thursday,
Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock?
earlier, 8 o'clock.
I'll send an email on that day, that time of day.
Thank you. Yeah, I just think.
Okay, anything else to come before economic development?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second. Jim Thornton. Thornton.
Handle true.
Handle True, Thornton. We're adjourned.
It's good.
Patty.
It's good.
Good evening. I'd like to call government operations at 6:59. We have 7 resolutions. I'll get right into them. Number 1 is setting a public hearing on local law introductory number 2 of 2024, amending section 6 of the Code of Ethics, increasing term limits for Greene County, adopted by local law number 2 of the year 1997 and as amended by local law number 3 of the year 1997. Hobart Lucas. Hobart and Lucas. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Number 2, authorizing execution of a temporary and permanent easement with Champlain Hudson Power Express.
Martinez.
Martinez and Winger. All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
Thanks to Kaplan for giving us a little extra.
Yeah, a little extra money.
Money on this. Yep.
Number 3, amending resolution number 279-11, adoption of the Greene County Administrative Manual. Section 6-8, Freedom of Information Law requests.
Linger.
Hobart. Linger and Hobart. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Number 4, authorizing agreement, Romer, Wallens, Gold, and Manu LLP.
Overbought?
Overbought and Lucas, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Number 5, amounts due to county treasurer by respective towns.
Martinez.
Martinez and Holbrook, all in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
I'm opposed. Just to Greg, question for, I know Pat's opposed, I just was curious as to why New Baltimore seems high, the dollar amount. Compared, I mean, it's almost what Catskill would have been, but. Something like that. Is it a 2-year thing or something that would be huge?
Yeah, but didn't you have like
Over 7,000.
Why would it have been so high?
but didn't you have two special
Because of
elections?
the primary?
Oh, primary?
We had a primary and a
Last
special,
year or so.
wasn't there a special election also? In the primary for the highway? and
Well,
then-
that primary was last year, wasn't it?
Did that come into this?
It would have been, the bill would come due this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
chargebacks run September 1st.
yeah, it had to do with that primary. And
Oh.
that was the only thing we had early elections for, so it's,
resolution that passed.
Gotcha.
not early elections is wonderful, I think. How much did that cost? And my understanding is 2 people from New Baltimore voted in early elections.
Early primary. Cost us $7,000, thank you.
All right, so we,
Yeah.
okay, so that was voted on.
Thanks, Ray.
Number 6, establishing equalization rates, 2024. Martinez? Right. Like, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Number 7, budget amendment, Greene County Clerk, digitization of records.
Lennon.
Overbought?
Lennon and Overbaugh, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that concludes our resolutions. We also have an item for discussion, and Director Ward of Real Property Tax contacted me about 2 weeks ago and about possible changes to our, where that is, to our senior citizens exemptions. And the recommendation is to go up $900, and it would bring the bottom number from 35,100 to 35,100,000 to 36,000. And that would be around a 2.5 adjustment. And that would cost the average homeowner, where is it here? It was about $9.42. I personally think that would be a help to our senior population that is over 65. Unlike New York, some states allow you to opt out of school taxes when you hit 65. I mean, my personal recommendation would be to go with this, and in which case we would need to have a public hearing on it.
That average $9 on 100,000 of value, or is that
On the average single family.
on the average single?
Single family resident,
Gotcha.
county counts, it's the impact on the county tax.
For the average family.
So it's about. You want to look at it that way.
But if the towns and the schools have to adopt it on their own,
Correct.
right?
We are.
If they don't adopt it, then I don't.
One of the toughest exemptions to administer. All different. Process.
Gotcha. So in previous, has any town opted out or school district opted out?
I think
Well, I can't tell you about other towns, but Greenville always goes with what the county.
Pretty much, most of the, since I've been director, the school districts and the towns have followed our lead. So I'll put a memo out to them that we're gonna, publicly do it, do a public hearing and not. Because these have to be in place by March 1st. So and they have to be done by, school district does it by resolution, the towns have to do it by local law. So they need to adjust everything there. It's over the years, there's been increases. We went to the max, then the state increased the max. Last year, they changed the guidelines. They simplified the definition of income to use your federally adjusted gross state income with about 5 adjustments. We opted last year not to do 3 of the optional adjustments. I can say that all of our municipalities did the same thing. Didn't take on any of the additional adjustments that can be made to income. It did change, and we ended up with about 85 brand new exemptions year over year, and 4, and most of that was probably into the definition. And also, remember, we do the second senior mailing every year at the end of January. Postcard that you all get in the mail, no matter what your age is. As long as you own a single family home or a home, you're going to get a postcard. And so that notification, so that's the 3rd year of doing that. So I think we've kind of hit our number where we're at. And I just look at what the COLA increase is from SSI, look at what number would be, what your income would be, federal poverty level, what you're getting from SSI, the average homeowner.
So is it all based on income then?
What, Social Security?
Well, no, all of these exemptions, whether it's your.
For a senior citizen exemption, yeah, it's a sliding scale, so.
Even HEAP and things like that, or no? I'm only asking because, there's.
That's income.
There's some people I know that have real big, healthy bank accounts that their income might be below the threshold, but they have a lot of money in the bank because they're not working anymore as seniors.
It's good for them, they save money.
I know, but my point is
Then speaking to our assessors, that's not the person coming in, the average person coming in to apply for a senior citizen exemption.
How long has this program been going now?
Save that money, right? That's the need.
60 or 70.
Plan for when you're retired.
Right.
Because you're not.
Okay, is there anything else that comes
Deferred
before
comps and everything else started.
government operations?
On an entertainment.
Are we gonna go?
Yeah, I would, yes,
I would say move forward on it.
yeah, I would. Is there anybody opposed to moving forward on this? Okay, great. Okay, is there anything else to come before government operations?
Motion to close.
A motion.
Second.
Martinez?
Can I go over?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Martinez.
Penis.
Ina.
Penis.
Okay, we'll call finance committee meeting to order. Several resolutions we gotta go over tonight. Matt, keep still, we'll get through them real quick like. First one is authorization enter into municipal agreement with the town of Carroll to submit an express grant application to New York State and a commitment of Greene County funds for construction renovation of the new town of Carroll Senior Center.
Leonard.
Mr. Leonard.
Later.
Winger, second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 2, authorizing execution of a temporary and permanent easement with Champaign Hudson Power Express.
Davis.
Dave,
Linger.
Linger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 3 is authorize a grant matching funds, Greene County Historical Society.
Overblock.
Paul. Blake seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 4, authorize agreement, Romer Wallen Gold and Midox LLP, Martinez.
Overblock.
Paul seconded, all in favor of that resolution?
Aye.
Carried, thank you. Number 5, authorize application pledging matching funds, I Love New York, 2025.
Overblock.
Mr. Overball,
Davis.
David seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. Number 6, authorize a vehicle purchase, Greene County Transit.
Davis.
Davis, who seconded?
Davis Linger.
Chairman? All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed?
All opposed.
Opposition? Carried. Number 7, authorize shared services agreement with New York State Department of Transportation.
Davis.
Davis, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 8, authorizing county highway and solid waste superintendent apply for funding from the Harry, what, spit it up, partner. The Harry Watershed Management Implementation Program.
Rivera.
Rivera. You would second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 9, authorize the purchase road survey software.
Len.
Overblock.
Mark second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 10, authorize the purchase of tire shredding machine for Catskill Transfer. Mark Lynch. You would second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 11, approving related service provider contract preschool special education program.
Davis.
David seconds it, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, that's also carried. Number 12, authorizing out of state travel, Greene County Highway and Solid Waste Department, Wesley Benson, Joseph DeAngelis. Leonard.
Davis.
David seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 13 is establishing equalization rate 24.
Davis.
David second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 14, amounts due to county treasurer by respective town.
Davis.
David,
Village.
you would second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also.
Opposed.
Opposed?
Chairman.
Linger.
Okay, that's carried. 15, establishing capital project 153, 2024 state homeland security grant program.
Len.
Overblock.
Paul, who else?
And Hobart.
Mr. Hobart. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 16, establishing capital project 154 repair to fire training center. Mark
Hobart.
Mark Desmond Hobart.
Yeah,
I was going to say
we're talking boys. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 17, establishing capital project 155 County Roof 23B rehabilitation. Project. Main Street leads down to Catskill, authorizing agreement with Park Computers.
Overblock.
DPC. Vera. Second, Overblock made the motion.
Yeah, over Bob Rivera.
Okay, sorry about that. Number 18, budget amendment, Greene County Clerk Station Record.
Overblock.
There, Ms. Overball, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 19, budget amendment, Greene County Board of Election, state fiscal year 24-25 grant. Martinez? David seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 20, budget amendment, Greene County Human Services Youth Bill.
Overblock.
All seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 21, budget amendment, illegal fentanyl prosecution grant.
Davis.
Davis.
George second, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 22, budget amendment, OPIC settlement fund.
Vera.
Vera,
Davis.
Davis second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 23, organization pay claims, highway.
Hobart.
George, Mr. Hobart, or vice versa, whichever. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 24, authorization pay claims, Martinez.
Hobart.
Hobart second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Information item, Greene County, New York, $20 million bond application, notes 24. And tonight we have Deb Gallo, acting treasurer. I think you've been doing a hell of a job.
Good evening for the taxes for the month of September. Delinquent tax payments have increased over last year, this in September by 150,000. Year to date is over 775,000 increase. Payments for delinquent taxes. For delinquent taxes themselves, it's $1.2 million higher this year than it was this time last year. And the sales tax continues to increase. We're 1.2 million over what we were last year. And projection is 9 million.
What do you think?
Any questions?
Questions? Deb, you're doing a good job, Deb. This is probably your last meeting here, maybe?
Well, I won't be here November for the.
No.
Well, good for you. You earned it.
I gotta tell you, on the sales tax end, I don't know if anybody was on the mountain this weekend, but holy moly, there was
Yep.
more people up there than I've seen in 25 years.
Yeah.
It was
Crazy.
It was unbelievable.
And the Wyndham Festival.
And Oktoberfest on Hunter's
I
side.
mean, Saturday was beautiful. I don't know if they were still up there Sunday with the weather, but.
They were up there Sunday, they were up, yes, Sunday, I went down the mountain to do shopping and came back up on Horseshoe Bend. They were parked on both sides of the road on the inside, making
Wow.
it one lane, and there was 40 people standing on the bridge taking pictures. It was the biggest melee I ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable. And the mountain, at the Mountain Top Historical Society, they were no longer parking on the pavement. They parked on every piece of grass that was available. And cars were parked on the side of the road from the Historical Society all the way down to Molly Smith's. They're parked in Twilight down their road on the side road. They were everywhere.
There were a lot of people down here.
They were everywhere. I had to be in Lexington at 1 o'clock, 15-minute ride. It took me an hour to get there because it's in Canyon Zone 100. It took me an extra 45 minutes.
Wow.
The traffic to get in the Hunter Mountain was backed up from the bridge all the way past.
Anything else coming for?
Well, I saw that we were,
Well, you
there
got-
was a decrease in the sales tax.
The last two reporting periods, we were down approximately $600,000
Right, compared to last
the
year.
previous year.
The
And
previous
then you
month.
had said something about the rest of the state. So
Yeah, there's, I sent you that update from NICEAG. I think 27 counties are down, year to date. New York City is up more than the state is, and then Greene County is up slightly more than the state is. Those two consecutive downs. I forget the report, the period of earnings, maybe. July, maybe August.
But we were like at number 11 or something.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were at like number 11. They thought we were probably actually gonna be number 3.
That's probably the tax rate. Oh, the tax rate. That's the tax rate.
Yeah.
Makes sense, though, all the people from the city who bought homes during COVID renovated all those homes.
Yeah.
And bought all
Yeah.
those supplies and
Yeah.
homes were renovated.
That was it.
So it totally makes sense.
That's one in, transfer stations.
That was it.
So we're still projecting a $9 million over budgeted in our sales tax.
As of the last report.
But I'm assuming that now, like next year's gonna be even lower because
You can see the.
a lot of the construction stuff is.
Well, I think your
done.
construction, your COVID boost for construction, I think is over.
Right,
The fourth quarter is typically the highest of the year because of
the holidays.
shopping, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. So have we reached the apex? Have we?
I know we kind of get a synopsis, like Patty was saying, well, with, car sales, gasoline, building materials,
Right.
what you're thinking. I think we get a synopsis of that. We've got reports
Yeah.
like that, and to see compared to see
Yeah.
if it's a
I get
dropping.
that from NICEAG. The change you'll see this year though, what the state has done. I've talked previously about how internet sales have gone from like number 30 to number 4. Well, the state is now gonna no longer classify sales as internet sales. They're gonna break that, what did you buy? So if you bought sneakers, it's gonna go department store.
Electronics.
If you bought a car battery, it's gonna go automotive. You're not gonna see that line anymore to see the significance that the internet has that we've seen since 19.
I mean, I would think it's more labor intensive to break it down to that than to just say this is from internet sales.
No one's a fan of it, honestly, because we want to know the internet.
Right.
So Walmart, you go on walmart.com, it'll end up getting classified as general merchandise. Which could be Walmart here or online.
Right, that's
So-
crazy.
Yeah, it's nice I tried to push against it, but I think I can get the most up to date report probably for my next one.
Yeah, but you are seeing a trend of, yes, we're still increasing, but the increases now are coming much closer to the projection.
If you look on a map of the counties, upstate counties have taken a majority of that, obviously based on those numbers, but the Hudson Valley, for the most part, is where the only increase. Columbia, I believe, negative, but Southwest Ulster,
No.
I think so.
New York City, yeah. New York City, the rebound in New York City.
It is probably those, New York City.
I just can't believe that's the case, because you go into the city and you see storefront after storefront after storefront for lease, empty.
Could be internet.
Well, even here, Mike, I don't know, when I try to go out to dinner on Friday or Saturday night, you don't wait anywhere anymore.
Well, yeah,
Walk in.
just, I mean, that's a lot, I know in the city, that's a lot of open commercial retail space that supposed to be generating sales tax, so
You're seeing the slowdown. You know?
Sean, who, I know I have asked who audits your comptroller, and you said nobody, but who keeps their eye on tax and finance to make sure that we're getting the right amount of sales tax from them, and they're not keeping more of it?
The governor.
2 + 2 equals
whatever they want.
Mike is never gonna sleep tonight.
Your money's in good hands, right, Sean?
Yeah, what happens is that, if you think about it, there are so many businesses that collect sales tax that either submit monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, depending on the volume. That tax and finance can't really understand when the money is, there are so many submittals within a 90-day period that it takes them almost a year to go back and sort out where the individual monies are coming from. So what they do, and why we have an adjustment period once a quarter, is that when that adjustment is made, it recatalogs where the money actually came from. When the state receives the money, they compare that receipt to the same receipt period from the previous year, and then just increase our amount or decrease our amount accordingly. Then with the correction period, in theory, that is supposed to bring it back to what the actual activity was during that 90-day period. It's kind of convoluted, but I understand there are so many submittals, like probably hundreds of thousands of, somebody submitting a simple Etsy sale they might have had
Right.
on a craft to Walmart that's gonna do it, monthly, so. It takes us probably 6 months to understand where the actual activity. And I'm really disappointed that the internet is, as a category, is gonna go away. That's when you don't have a large retail like Albany has the 2 malls or Newburgh. I think that has been working to our advantage since the 90s. We're still buying stuff, we're just not going to the mall and do it.
So with this $9 million, what are we doing to, where are we placing this? I know our fund balances, we put this in, set aside money so we don't have to increase the taxes. But what are we doing with this extra 9 million that we're projected that's going to?
Well, typically what happens that when we close the books in the first quarter of the year, we then look at replenishing any of the sales tax reserves that we had consumed. I had a roof job or vehicle purchases, if we needed to, we would replenish them, and then the balance would go to unappropriated.
Well, going to Hawaii.
No, we're not going to Hawaii, Charlie.
How do you know something?
I'll stay with my sister.
But you don't love that.
She'll be fine.
You do.
Fine. I just think we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves with taking that money and dispersing. I'm kind of nervous about the trend with sales tax. I think I'd like to see where that's really gonna go. I'd really like to see the printout of where the sales tax has gone down, where the dollars have gone down. I don't know.
Well, the surplus, and part of the reason why we have a surplus is that we're so conservative in the budget estimate. It's a revenue that we have no control over. And that does, I would say compounds the surplus because we are so conservative, but it does because, but if in the next 3 years, we again, if you go back to the internet law, the Supreme Court decision of Wayfair, which then made the taxing receipt or the address of who was receiving the product is the county that receives the revenue. What NISAC has been saying for the last 2 years, at some point, that's gonna equal now a new equilibrium. Where people have just gotten used to shopping on the internet and now has become a routine. It's no longer new. And is that gonna, does that apex hit us in 25, 26? Because each year we have to increase the budget estimate in order to balance the budget and keep the levy flat. So at what point does that become stagnant? And then the only gain you get thereafter is an inflationary factor. If gas goes up 50 cents a gallon, that would increase more receipts. But Matthew, I acknowledge your question. That's a legitimate question.
Yeah, I just think that people are gonna ask us. I think we should.
Well, as we talked about last month, we've done a lot of capital projects with that surplus in the last 2 years. I mean, the transfer station in Catskill is $2 million, $2 million. And the other one, and then the other transfer stations. So we were able to do those projects that maybe normally have done by via bonded debt. That we have surplus. It's a very good position to find yourself in, to have no bonded debt other than the minimums. So that can continue. We have projects coming up. You don't know what the economy could do tomorrow. The Middle East could blow up on us tomorrow, and that puts panic in the market. Or then again, we have heavy winter, or we have a bonanza of shopping for Christmas. I think if we could figure out sales tax, we wouldn't be sitting in Catskill. We'd be sitting someplace else. But we're lucky, and I applaud your conservativeness on the estimate.
Well,
And if we go into electric trucks, if they're anything like school buses, they're gonna cost 3 times as much as a regular truck.
Then you gotta put electric service in and charge them.
Yeah. That'll cost a lot. And supposedly New York City has working electric garbage trucks. They also use their
Still have
garbage
to plug
trucks
them
to
in.
plow. They don't work for
Why
plowing.
electric bill?
Yes, we have seen that's used.
They do not work for plowing.
And we
About
haven't jumped to
$143
electric
a
buses.
month because I plug it in every night.
It's all about being environmental, right?
You're saving on one end.
So we'll bore a hole the size of the Grand Canyon in another country to build batteries for our own clean air.
Yeah, right.
Huge
Don't see
hypocrisy.
it, it's not happening.
Out of sight, out of mind.
All right.
No electric truck.
Okay, on that happy note.
All right.
Lost control.
Yeah, Charlie.
Again. That's all right.
Buddy.
Did you close your meeting, Charlie?
That's funny. Did I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Who was first?
I would.
Charlie.
Mark, that's over.
You would.